Have you ever wondered why some people seem to just take off? They reach for the stars and actually get there, while so many of us feel stuck on the ground. We're told it's all about talent, about grit, the whole self-made story. But what if that's not really the full picture? Today, we're going to dive into Malcolm Gladwell's amazing book, Outliers, and uncover the hidden forces that really shape who becomes a success. So let's start with a bit of a mystery. If you were to look at the rosters of Canada's top-tier hockey leagues, you'd notice something really weird. A huge number of the best players are born in January, February, or March. So what's going on here? Is it something to do with their star signs? Are winter babies just genetically better at hockey? The real answer? Well, it's way more surprising, and it's our first big clue to figuring out this whole success thing. That hockey puzzle, it really gets at a bigger problem with how we view achievement. I mean, we love the self-made hero story, right? The idea that someone can rise up from nothing with just their own talent and hard work. But Gladwell argues that this obsession with the individual, this idea that you can climb the mountain all by yourself, is just wrong. Gladwell gives us a totally different way to think about it. He says success isn't just about the seed. It's about the soil, the sunlight, the rain. To understand why some trees grow taller than others, you can't just stare at the tree. You have to look at the entire forest it grew in. We need to stop asking what successful people are like and start asking where they come from. And this brings us to the first major idea Gladwell talks about, the power of opportunity. It's this concept that success often starts with these hidden advantages and just plain lucky breaks. And this phenomenon is so real, sociologists actually have a name for it, the Matthew effect. The name comes from a verse in the Bible, but the idea is pretty simple. People who are already successful are way more likely to be given the opportunities that lead to even more success. It's a snowball effect. A tiny advantage at the beginning just gets bigger and bigger and bigger over time. Okay, so back to our hockey players. Here's the secret. The cutoff date for youth hockey in Canada is January 1st. That means a kid born on January 2nd is playing against kids who are almost a whole year younger than him. Now, when you're 9 years old, that's a huge difference in size and coordination. So who gets picked for the All-Star team? The bigger, older kids. They get the better coaches, more practice time, and over the next 10 years, that little initial advantage turns them into truly better players. They didn't start out as outliers. They were given an opportunity that made them one. But look, getting a lucky break is just the beginning. It's what you do with that opportunity that really makes the difference. And this brings us to probably the most famous idea from the whole book, the 10,000-hour rule. It's all about the magic of practice. 10,000. That's the number. Just let that sink in. In study after study of world-class experts, we're talking everyone from violinists to chess grandmasters, even top-tier criminals. Researchers kept hitting this one number as the threshold for true world-class mastery. And here's the crucial thing. Practice isn't what you do after you get good. Practice is what makes you good. 10,000 hours seems to be that magic number. And that is a ton of time. It's basically like working a part-time job 20 hours a week for 10 straight years. Now, to get to 10,000 hours, you need an extraordinary opportunity. Take the Beatles. Before anyone knew who they were, they had this gig in Hamburg playing for 8 hours a night, 7 days a week. It was a grind, but it made them legends. Or Bill Gates. He'll tell you himself he was just lucky. In 1968, his high school had a computer terminal with basically unlimited time on it, something almost no one else in the world had. He clocked in his 10,000 hours before he even went to college. So we have opportunity and we have practice. But Gladwell says there's a third, really critical piece to the puzzle: the traditions and attitudes we get from our ancestors. This is what he calls our cultural legacy. The values that are passed down through generations, about work, about authority, about how to keep going when things get tough, they have a deep, deep effect on our chances of success. Gladwell tells this incredible story about Jewish immigrants who worked in the garment industry in New York. Their work was unbelievably hard, but it was also incredibly meaningful, and that changed everything. See, their work had these 3 magic qualities. First, autonomy. They were their own bosses. Second, it was complex work, not just mindless labor. It really engaged their brains. And third, there was this direct link between how hard they worked and how much they earned. When work is meaningful like that, it's not a chore. It's an opportunity. So this is all really interesting, but what does it mean for us right here, right now? Well, this isn't just a cool theory. Gladwell's work gives us a kind of blueprint for how we can think about our own success, and maybe even more important, how we can create success for other people. All right, here's your action plan. First, Just be honest about the advantages you've had. Like Bill Gates said, I was very lucky. Acknowledge your luck. Second, find your 10,000 hours. Find your personal Hamburg, that immersive place where you can get all that practice in. Third, understand your cultural programming. How did your family history shape how you see the world? And last, and this one's huge, create opportunities for others. If we build a world that gives more people a shot, we don't just get one Bill Gates, we could get thousands. When it comes right down to it, this is the book's big message. An outlier isn't really an outlier at all. These superstars, they aren't some kind of mystery. They're products of their history, their community, of opportunity, and of legacy. Their success is built on a whole network of advantages. Some they earned and some they just got lucky with. So, the question Outliers really leaves us with is this. Success is a gift. It's an opportunity. And we have to have the strength and the awareness to grab it when it comes along. So think about it. What chances have you been given, and what are you going to do with yours?